The U.S.A. economy contracted by 0.3% in the first quarter of 2025, the first decline in 3 years. This comes as businesses rush to import goods ahead of sweeping new tariffs. Imports surged 41.3%, the biggest jump since the pandemic-era third quarter of 2020, resulting in a record drag on GDP. This front-loading, driven by uncertainty over President Trump's trade policy, overwhelmed modest export gains and a rebound in inventories. The data comes after the goods trade deficit hit an all-time high in March, forcing economists to sharply reverse their growth estimates. Consumer spending, which accounts for over two-thirds of the economy, slowed in the previous quarter. Households have pulled purchases forward and are saving amid rising uncertainty. Business investment remains strong, with spending on equipment surging 22.5%. However, core inflation also accelerated. The core personal consumption expenditures index rose, keeping pressure on the Federal Reserve as it weighs further rate cuts later this year. Final sales to private domestic purchasers grew a solid 3%, but economists caution this measure has been distorted by tariff effects. The contraction in GDP has triggered sharp political and market reactions. All major Wall Street indices fell and the Treasury yields climbed. President Trump blamed the slowdown on Biden-era policies, but defended his trade approach, calling the surge in investment a sign of economic strength.
Core GDP, and this is, you probably saw some numbers today. And I have to start off by saying that's Biden. That's not Trump, because we came in on January, this is the quarterly numbers. And we came in and I was very against everything that Biden was doing in terms of the economy, destroying our country in so many ways, not only at the border was more obvious.
His administration has imposed tariffs of up to 145% on Chinese goods and levies on key sectors like steel and aluminum. While China has retaliated with targeted measures, economists warn that while the contraction may not mark the start of a recession, the combination of trade disruption and policy uncertainty has significantly raised this risk. And for more on this, our correspondent Susan Tehrani has sent us this report from New York. Listen to this.
The U.S. economy unexpectedly shrank for the first quarter of 2025, President Trump's first full quarter back in office. It was the first economic contraction since the pandemic-era slump. The report showed declines, one, in consumer spending and also business investment, raising concerns of a possible recession, although experts say that's very unlikely. President Trump put the blame on former President Biden, calling it Biden's overhang, accusing his predecessor of leaving him a mess of inflation, bloated government spending, and also weak business confidence. President Trump said that his administration is now going to be focused on reversing the damage through deregulation and renewed energy investment. But critics argue that maybe his aggressive tariffs and also deportation plans might be the cause of some instability. Susan Tehrani reporting from New York for WION World is One.
For latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.